welcome to today's video on how to prepare for a tournament for Warhammer Underworlds, or how I prepare at least. Everyone will be different, but hopefully I've picked up some things that might be useful to you if you are going for the first time maybe. And this was a video requested by a member of me, so who am I to not oblige, right? So the first preparations then. For me initially the most important thing is to make sure to pick a warband and a pairing you really enjoy, but you also might think, we'll have a decent chance of winning some games. The ratio between these two things is wildly variable for each player. Some just love winning so much that the meta pick in terms of warband and pairing will trump anything else, but for others a weaker warband and the feeling of winning games against the odds sort of feel more rewarding to them. Just be honest with yourself as to what your goals are with a specific tournament at hand. After that locked in, make sure if possible to get a fair few games against a variety of opponents in to nail down your tactics and also sort of lock down your last cards in the pairing you've chosen. So before the actual event then, go over your deck 2 or 3 times and double check it towards your digital copy of it and make sure that every card is in there. Be sure to pack the rest of the decks in your pairing as well, as mistakes do happen. Make sure you have all your cards sleeved in opaque sleeves of the same brand, quality and color. One color for the power cards and one for the objectives. Ideally of the same brand. If any one sleeve has any damage or staining on them, however slight, change it. The last thing you want is your honesty to be questioned. As for your models, make sure to pack them with more care than I usually do, but yeah, maybe some bubble wrapping in a closed case at the very least. And if you're taking proxies or very heavily converted models for your own unique take on them, do bring the original models as well if you can, so that if your opponent feels confused as to who's who, they can opt for the original models. As for the rest, dice, tokens, counters and boards, just make sure it's all there, and if you can, have some sort of bits box with easily accessible compartments where you have the different tokens sorted. You don't want to spend forever looking for your activation tokens amongst the glory before the game. Do pack beverages and snacks, but do of course keep ingesting it too in between games. Long days of playing is more taxing than one might think. When sitting down with a new opponent, socializing a bit is totally fine. It's supposed to be fun, but do get the drawing of starting hands and the board roll off pretty straight away. As the tournament progresses, your brain fog will worsen and that precious time will be needed to finish your games without rushed or poor decisions. Do allow your opponents to refreshen themselves with your warband and your war scroll, especially if they haven't played against them. And after shuffling and before drawing cards, do offer your opponent to split your deck. And wish your opponent the good luck. While playing the game, chances are the venue is loud, so do try to speak clearly at all times. I've said pass in the power step multiple times without my opponent catching on to it and thusly have sort of sat around waiting for me to say pass. Don't rush things, but also try to keep things at a reasonable pace. If you, quotation mark, forgot to play a card, don't simply presume it's okay for you to do so after the fact. This can be, for example, forgetting to put an upgrade on a fighter before activating them. As per the rules, if you missed it, you missed it after all. And if you are allowed by your opponent to play the card after the fact, make sure to also allow your opponent to counter. If you are allowed to upgrade your fighter with say +1 damage, your opponent might well want to take countermeasures that they wouldn't have taken otherwise. When equipping your fighters with upgrades, do keep them clearly visible for your opponents to see. Avoid those type of gotcha moments at all cost. Oh, you had great strength, huh? Fun, I guess I die. Keep level-headed. Bad dice do happen, sometimes in multiple games in a row. Don't be all grumpy and loud over it. It's just a game and your luck will change. After your game, clear the board quickly and make sure each player's token don't get misplaced in the other ones. And that goes for cards as well, of course. Do sort of check your deck after the fact so that you have everything in order. That's pretty much it, really. Be a good sport, have your stuff in order, and you'll have a great time, and your opponent will also have a great time. And that is very important. And also before going to the tournament, be sure to freshen up on the rules. Give it a read or two, just so everything can flow well at the gaming table for both you and your opponent. Do make sure that you and your opponent are in an agreement on how you roll your dice. For example, is dice outside of the dice tray valid or not? and we don't want those type of discussions at the game board. Make sure to have that nailed down before you start playing. For me, I think it's a great rule to just say, we roll in the dice tray. If it's outside, it doesn't count. And also do make sure to roll properly and when your opponent can actually see you rolling, of course. I hope you enjoyed this short little video on how to prepare and sort of behave and all that stuff during a tournament for Warhammer Underworlds. If you have any other tips for new players, do let me know down in the comments below. Lastly, a big shout out to all my members that help support my content and makes it so much easier for me to produce multiple videos on a weekly basis. Members do get access to the member Discord, get to influence the content, get early access to a ton of videos, as well as get featured in the monthly painting showcase if they want. Member or not, I dearly appreciate the like, the comment and the subscription.